Well, let's talk about this. We got the story from The Independent. Put people in jail. Former Fox reporter calls for arrests over right wing's great replacement theory. Tucker Carlson responded saying this is going to get really ugly really soon, slamming ex-Fox News colleague who suggested he should be in jail or something worse. What's something worse? Carlson asked his audience after airing a clip of the remarks from the former reporter Cameron made over the weekend to CNN. We're not sure what something worse is, but it certainly feels like we're moving toward it at a very high speed at this point. Rhetoric has its own internal logic. We've experienced it. We can talk ourselves into things. Democrats are doing it right now. And what they're talking themselves into right now is, quote, something worse. It's scary. It's time to pull back. It's time to de-escalate. Otherwise, this is going to get really ugly really soon. So, should I say the magic word, civil war?
You can always say it.
I mean, I would hope that everybody ignores people like that on the extreme.
They don't.
Right?
I mean,
some people do, some people don't, right? Like, I have my friends from Silicon Valley are all Democrats, but they're not going to say Tucker Carlson should be executed for talking about replacement theory.
But are they active in politics? Are they the public speakers?
No, exactly.
So you have on CNN, here's what happens. I don't think intent matters on either side as this conflict escalates. This guy goes on CNN. They probably didn't know he was going to say this. He says it. They probably say, okay, well, that was a little over the top, but we know we don't mean it, right? We don't want to go that far. But then Tucker Carlson sees it. And then he talks about it and says, look what they're doing. Look what they're saying. And then, of course, people who see that are like, whoa, those people are crazy. So it's exacerbating the problem. It's escalating things, regardless of whether they're being tongue-in-cheek or hyperbolic or otherwise.
Feels like the network should be responsible for these people that are talking on the network. I know it's not a social network, so they don't have, 230 in parity, but
they don't care though, because they know they don't make money from Trump supporters. They have no cultural tie to conservatives, Republicans, or libertarians.
But this guy's saying something worse. The only thing worse than jail for a criminal is death penalty that I know of. I mean, you either life in prison or death penalty. That's the next thing that's worse. So what's this guy going on CNN and suggesting that someone needs the death penalty for talking on a news channel?
And now people are going to hear
CNN
you saying
needs to come out and speak against that. And
so whether anyone has the full intent of that or not, people will hear us talking about it. Right. And they're going to be like, man, these CNN people have lost their minds allowing this.
Yeah,
they're going to say Ian's right. They shouldn't allow that. This guy's calling for the death penalty for Tucker Carlson. That's crazy. And then you'll mention my Democrat friends don't believe that. But this is something at the highest level of the conversation.
Right. I would say that, it's kind of all of our collective responsibility to do what you can. I mean, I do what I can to keep my Democrat friends. A lot of them, I'm an independent, and I've still lost a lot of friends, just by being a little bit more outspoken. But try to make an effort to stay friends with people. Most people are reasonable. If you point out things like this to them, they'll probably be, yeah, that's batshit crazy. I thought all the batshit crazy people were on the right. I didn't realize there were batshit crazy people on my side too.
Yeah.
Pardon the French.
Oh, I'll do a little bit. Try and do a little bit of that conciliation. Say look, what he said is totally legal. I mean, what he's suggesting is ridiculous and unconstitutional and a million other things. But him saying that should be the penalty for saying things he doesn't believe or should be said on public air. I guess he can say that.
How does he get to that point? How does this guy get to the point where we'd actually say something worse than jailing for talking about an idea pushed by? So I just want to clarify.
He should lose his job. I don't know.
He said go to jail or something.
Like
worse.
a jail for a week or lose your job. I don't know.
I wouldn't apologize for it.
I'm not.
What I would say is these people. I'm sorry. I don't know how we solve this because I think they're nuts, and I'll tell you why. It has been many prominent Democrats who have argued for demographic change in an effort to maintain power. When Tucker Carlson points that out, they accuse him of pushing a conspiracy theory. And I'll say it again. Many Democrats have said immigration is a path towards maintaining political power. Tucker Carlson says, look what they're saying. He shows them saying it, and they say, he has said something so dangerous, he should be jailed or something worse. How do they get to that point? Look, I know Donald Trump said lock her up to Hillary Clinton, right? Maybe that's it. Maybe it's inevitable. Hillary Clinton actually did bad things. Joe Biden did bad things.
Yeah, but political persecution is not the answer. That's for
So
sure.
but what do you do then? Do you say Hillary Clinton destroyed 30,000 emails, but we're not going to go after her because it would
He
escalate
should say she should be charged, not locked up. That's the judge to decide, or the jury.
And then everyone says, criminally charge my opponent. You criminally charge yours. Everyone says they're right. You know, you mentioned it on the show before. The left says the exact same thing about us that we say about them. And then I pointed out, yeah, but we're right. Like when I say Joe Biden went to the president of Ukraine and said, if you don't fire the prosecutor, you're not getting the $1 billion loan guarantees. That's on video. He actually did that. A prosecutor who was investigating Burisma, where his son was on the board. All of that happened. Well, that should be investigated. But then they push things like the Ahmaud Arbery lie, the guy who filmed it goes to prison, Trayvon Martin, George Floyd. I mean, all of these things that were embellished, hands up, don't shoot, outright not true. Jussie Smollett, they all believed it. They keep pushing all these things that are just outright falsehoods. But you have, it's almost like, man, an equal and opposite reaction. As more people get access to the truth through social media, more people join the zealous cult as an equal and opposite reaction.